Welcome to my channel. Today we will talk about something very important. We will talk about how to talk in your brain. Yes, you can learn to talk in your brain, and this can completely change your English. Many English learners think they need more grammar or more vocabulary, but that is not the real problem. The real problem is that their brain is still thinking in their own language. I had the same problem when I started learning English. I always translated every sentence, and speaking felt slow and difficult. But when I learned how to talk in my brain, everything started to change. My English became faster. My confidence became stronger. So today, I will show you the simple steps that helped me, and I hope they will help you too. Stay with me until the end, because the last tip is one of the most powerful habits you can learn. Chapter 1. Today, we are going to learn something that can completely change the way you learn English. We are going to learn how to talk in your brain. Many people think that speaking English starts when you open your mouth, but that is not true. Speaking starts much earlier. It starts inside your brain. Before you say any English sentence, your brain is already working. Your brain is choosing words. Your brain is making sentences. Your brain is helping your mouth. If your brain is thinking in your own language first, then speaking English becomes slow. But if your brain starts thinking in English, speaking becomes much easier. This is why learning to talk in your brain is one of the best things you can do. It is simple, it is free, and you can practice it every day. I want to tell you something that happened to me when I first started learning English. I knew many English words. I studied grammar every day. I could understand simple books. But when someone asked me a question in English, I became quiet. I knew the answer, but I could not speak. First, I thought in my own language. Then, I tried to translate every word into English. This took too much time. By the time I found the English words, the conversation had already moved on. I felt nervous. I felt disappointed. I thought maybe English was too difficult for me. But one day, I learned something very important. I learned that I should stop translating every sentence. Instead, I should teach my brain to think directly in English. At first, it sounded impossible. I thought, how can I think in English when I am still learning? But then I started with very small steps. I looked at a chair and said in my brain, "This is a chair." I looked at a window and thought, "The window is open." When I drank water, I said, "I am drinking water." These were very small sentences. They were easy, but they helped my brain start using English naturally. Every day I practiced a little more. Slowly, my brain became faster. I did not have to translate every sentence anymore. English started coming into my mind by itself. That was the day my learning became easier. Maybe you have the same problem today. Maybe you know many words, but you cannot speak quickly. Maybe you understand English when you read it, but speaking feels difficult. If that is true, do not worry. You are not alone. Almost every English learner has this problem. The good news is that you can change it. You do not need expensive classes. You do not need perfect grammar. You only need to train your brain in a new way. Your brain is like a muscle. When you exercise your body every day, your muscles become stronger. Your brain works the same way. Every time you think in English, your brain becomes a little stronger. Every small English sentence is like one more exercise. At first, it feels difficult, but after many days, it becomes easy. This is why daily practice is much more important than studying for many hours only once a week. Even 5 minutes of brain talking every day can make a big difference. Another wonderful thing about talking in your brain is that nobody can hear your mistakes. This means you never have to feel embarrassed. You can make as many mistakes as you want. If you think of the wrong word, simply try again. If your sentence is not perfect, make another one. Your brain learns from every mistake. Every mistake is helping you improve. So never be afraid. Your brain is your safest place to practice English. Nobody is judging you. Nobody is laughing at you. It is only you and your English. That is why brain talking is such powerful practice. Many learners believe they must learn thousands of words before they can think in English. That is not true. You only need the words you already know. If you know 50 words, use those 50 words. If you know 100 words, use those 100 words. Simple words are enough. For example, you can think, I am happy. I am tired. The weather is nice. I like this food. These are easy sentences, but they teach your brain an important habit. They teach your brain to stay in English. As your vocabulary grows, your brain will naturally make longer sentences. But everything begins with easy English. Remember, children do not start speaking with long sentences. They start with very small words. You can learn the same way. There is another reason why brain talking works so well. When you think in English many times, your brain begins to remember English without trying. One day, you will see a tree, and your brain will immediately think, tree. You will not think of the word in your own language first. This is exactly what we want. We want English to become natural. We want your brain to choose English first. This takes time, but it happens with practice. Every day you think in English, you build a new habit. And habits become stronger every time you repeat them. So never think your small practice is useless. Every small sentence is building your future English. Every small thought is making your speaking faster. Every small practice is bringing you closer to fluency. From today, I want you to make one simple promise to yourself. Promise that you will stop worrying about perfect English. Promise that you will stop waiting until you know every grammar rule. Instead, start talking in your brain today. Start with easy words. Start with easy sentences. Keep practicing every day. Little by little, your brain will change. One day, you will notice something amazing. English will come into your mind without translation. Speaking will feel easier. You will become more confident. And you will realize that real English learning did not begin when you opened your mouth. It began the day you started talking inside your brain. In the next chapter, I will show you the simple daily method that anyone can use to practice brain talking. You can start using it today, and it only takes a few minutes. It is easy, it is fun, and it can completely change the way you learn English. Chapter 2. In the last chapter, we learned why talking in your brain is so important. We learned that speaking English begins inside your mind before it comes out of your mouth. Now let us learn how to practice talking in your brain every single day. The good news is that it is much easier than you think. You do not need a special book. You do not need a classroom. You do not need another person. You only need your brain, a few simple English words, and a little practice every day. That is all. When I first started talking in my brain, I thought I needed to make long and perfect sentences. I wanted my English to sound beautiful. But very quickly, I learned that this was a mistake. Long sentences made me stop. I spent too much time thinking about grammar and difficult words. Then I changed my method. I started using very small sentences. Everything became easier. My brain became relaxed. My English became faster. That is why I want you to do the same thing. Start with the easiest sentences you know. When you wake up in the morning, do not think in your own language. Instead, think in English. Open your eyes and say in your brain, "Good morning." Then think, "I am awake." Sit on your bed and think, "I feel good today." If you are tired, think, "I am still sleepy." These are very easy sentences, but they are helping your brain start the day in English. Next, when you go to brush your teeth, talk in your brain again. Think, "I am brushing my teeth." Look in the mirror and think, "I am smiling." Wash your face and think, "The water is cold." Every little thing you do can become English practice. You do not have to stop your daily life. You simply add English to it. That is what makes this method so powerful. After that, when you eat breakfast, keep talking in your brain. Look at your food and think, "I am eating breakfast." If you are drinking tea, think, "This tea is hot." If you are eating bread, think, "The bread is soft." If you are eating fruit, think, "This apple is sweet." You are not studying from a book. You are learning from your real life. Your brain remembers real experiences much better than memorized vocabulary lists. That is why this practice works so well. When you leave your house, continue your brain talking. If you are walking, think, "I am walking to work." If you are riding a bus, think, "The bus is full." If you see a child playing, think, "The child is happy." If you see a dog running, think, "The dog is running fast." Look around you. Everything you see can become an English lesson. Your world becomes your classroom. The more you look around, the more English you will find. Sometimes you may not know an English word. That is completely okay. do not stop practicing. If you cannot remember one word, use another word that you already know. For example, maybe you do not know the word ceiling. You can simply think, the top of the room. Maybe you do not know the word pillow. You can think, the soft thing on my bed. The important thing is not using perfect English. The important thing is keeping your brain inside English. Later you can learn the correct word. But do not stop thinking. Keep your English moving. Another easy way to practice is by asking yourself small questions. This is one of my favorite methods. When you look around, ask in your brain, what is this? Then answer, this is a chair. Ask, what am I doing? Then answer, I am reading. Ask, how do I feel? Then answer, I feel happy. These small conversations teach your brain how real English works. You are practicing both questions and answers at the same time. It is like having an English friend inside your mind. I remember doing this every day when I was learning English. Sometimes I smiled because it felt funny talking to myself inside my brain. But after a few weeks, I noticed something amazing. I was thinking in English without trying. When I saw a bird, my brain immediately thought, bird. When I opened a door, my brain thought, open the door. I was no longer translating everything. English was becoming natural. That is exactly what will happen to you if you keep practicing. There is another small habit that helped me a lot. Every night before sleeping, I thought about my day in English. I did not use difficult sentences. I simply thought, today was a good day. I worked hard. I talked with my friend. I watched a video. Now I am tired. This only took a few minutes, but it gave my brain one more chance to use English before sleeping. During the night, my brain remembered those sentences. The next day, they became even easier. This is a simple habit, but it gives wonderful results. Always remember that your goal is not to think fast. Your goal is to think often. Speed comes later. At first, your brain needs time to build new habits. That is normal. Be patient with yourself. Every small sentence is helping your brain grow stronger. Every easy word is building your confidence. Every minute you spend thinking in English is another step toward speaking English naturally. Never compare yourself with other learners. Everyone learns at a different speed. Some people need more time. Some people learn faster. But everyone improves when they practice every day. So keep your practice simple. Keep your practice enjoyable. Keep your practice regular. One day you will notice that English comes into your mind without effort. You will smile because your brain is finally thinking in English. And that is the moment when speaking also becomes easier. In the next chapter, we will talk about the biggest mistakes that stop learners from thinking in English. These mistakes are very common, and almost every beginner makes them. Once you understand these mistakes and learn how to avoid them, your brain will become even stronger, and your English will improve much faster. Chapter 3. In the last chapter, We learned how to practice talking in your brain every day. We learned that small sentences can help your brain start thinking in English naturally. But today, we are going to talk about something very important. We are going to talk about the mistakes that stop your brain from thinking in English. Almost every English learner makes these mistakes. I made them too. Maybe you are making some of them right now. The good news is that these mistakes can be fixed. Once you understand them, your English learning will become much easier. Let us begin with the first mistake. The first mistake is translating every sentence. This is the biggest problem for many learners. You hear something in English. Then your brain changes it into your own language. After that, when you want to answer, your brain changes your own language back into English. This takes a lot of time. Your brain becomes busy doing two jobs instead of one. I remember doing this every day when I started learning English. Someone asked me a simple question like, "How are you?" I knew the answer. But first, I answered in my own language inside my mind. Then I searched for the English words. By the time I finished translating, the conversation had already moved forward. I felt slow, and I lost my confidence. Then I changed my habit. Instead of translating, I started answering with easy English that I already knew. If someone asked, "How are you?" I simply thought, "I am good." It was short, it was easy, but it came quickly. That is what really matters. Your brain becomes faster when you stop translating and start thinking directly in English. The second mistake is trying to use difficult words. Many learners believe that big words make them sound smart, but difficult words often make your brain stop. You spend too much time searching for the perfect word. During that time, your conversation becomes slow. I learned that easy words are much more powerful. Instead of saying, "I am extremely exhausted today," you can simply think, "I am very tired." Instead of saying, "This meal is absolutely delicious," you can think, "This food is very good." Simple English helps your brain move quickly. And when your brain moves quickly, speaking becomes easier. Never be afraid to use easy words. Even fluent English speakers use simple words every day. The third mistake is waiting until your grammar becomes perfect. Many learners say, "I will start speaking when my grammar is perfect." But that day never comes. Grammar is important, but it should not stop you from practicing. When children learn their first language, they do not know grammar rules. They simply speak. Little by little, they improve. You can learn English the same way. When I was learning, I made many grammar mistakes. Sometimes my sentences were not perfect, but I kept talking in my brain every day. Slowly, my grammar improved because I was using English every day. Practice teaches grammar better than fear. So do not wait. Start thinking in English now, even if your grammar is not perfect. The fourth mistake is being afraid of making mistakes. Many people think, "What if I think the wrong sentence? What if I use the wrong word?" But remember something very important. When you are talking in your brain, Nobody can hear you. Nobody is judging you. This is your private practice. You can make 100 mistakes today and nobody will know. Every mistake teaches your brain something new. I made many mistakes inside my brain. Sometimes I used the wrong word. Sometimes I forgot a sentence. But instead of stopping, I tried again. Every time I tried again, my English became a little stronger. Mistakes are not your enemy. They are your teacher. The fifth mistake is learning many words but never using them. Some learners memorize hundreds of vocabulary words every week. They write them in notebooks. They read them many times. But they never use those words in real sentences. After a few days, they forget them. The brain remembers words much better when you use them. If you learn the word beautiful, use it immediately. Think, the sky is beautiful. Think, this flower is beautiful. Think, today is a beautiful day. When you use a word many times, your brain keeps it. When you only read the word, your brain forgets it. Always use every new word in your brain talking. Another mistake is comparing yourself with other learners. Maybe you see someone speaking English very well. Then you think, my English is bad. This thought makes you lose motivation. But remember that everyone has a different journey. Some people started learning many years before you. Some people practice more every day. Do not compare your beginning with someone else's success. Compare yourself with the person you were yesterday. If yesterday you knew 10 English sentences and today you know 11, then you are improving. That is something to celebrate. Every small improvement is important. One more mistake is giving up too quickly. Some learners practice for 1 week and then stop because they do not see big results. But learning English is like growing a tree. When you plant a seed, you do not see a big tree the next morning. The tree grows little by little every day. Your English grows the same way. Every sentence you think in English is like giving water to that tree. One day, you will look back and realize how much you have improved. But this only happens if you keep going. Never stop because progress feels slow. Slow progress is still progress. Finally, I want you to remember one simple rule. Do not try to be perfect. Try to be consistent. 5 minutes of brain talking every day is much better than studying for 3 hours only once a month. Your brain learns through repetition. The more you think in English, the more natural English becomes. So stop translating. Use easy words. Do not wait for perfect grammar. Do not fear mistakes. Use every new word you learn. Never compare yourself with others. And never give up. If you follow these simple ideas, your brain will slowly stop depending on your first language. It will begin choosing English naturally. That is the real goal. In the next chapter, I will show you how to train your brain to think automatically in English, so that English becomes a natural part of your everyday life. The methods are simple, fun, and very powerful. So keep practicing because your English brain is becoming stronger every single day. Chapter 4. In the last chapter, we learned about the biggest mistakes that stop your brain from thinking in English. We learned that translating every sentence, worrying too much about grammar, using difficult words, and being afraid of mistakes can make English much harder than it needs to be. Now it is time to learn how to train your brain to think automatically in English. This is the step that changes everything. When your brain begins thinking in English without trying, speaking becomes much easier. You do not have to stop and search for every word. Your ideas come faster, your confidence grows, and learning English becomes much more enjoyable. The best part is that anyone can learn this skill. You do not need to be a genius. You only need a simple plan and daily practice. Let me tell you what helped me the most. When I first started practicing brain talking, I had to remind myself to think in English. I often forgot. After a few minutes, my brain went back to my own language. At first, I thought I was doing something wrong, but then I realized this was normal. My brain had spent many years thinking in my first language. It could not change in one day. So I became patient. Every time I noticed that I was thinking in my own language, I gently came back to English. I looked around and started making simple English sentences again. Little by little, my brain stayed in English for longer and longer. One day, I noticed something wonderful. I was walking outside, and without trying, I thought, "The weather is nice today." I smiled because I did not translate. The English sentence came into my mind naturally. That small moment made me very happy. It showed me that my brain was changing. You can experience the same thing if you practice every day. One easy way to train your brain is to name everything you see. When you wake up, look around your room and think, bed, window, door, chair, table. Then make small sentences. Think, the bed is clean, the window is open, the chair is brown. These easy sentences teach your brain to connect objects directly with English words. After some time, your brain will stop thinking about these things in your own language. It will think about them in English first. Another good habit is to describe what people are doing. If you see someone walking, think, "He is walking." If you see a child laughing, think, "The child is laughing." If someone is reading a book, think, "She is reading." This is wonderful practice because life is always moving. Every person you see gives you another chance to think in English. Every action becomes another English lesson. You can also ask yourself small questions throughout the day. For example, ask, "What am I doing now?" Then answer, "I am cooking." Ask, "Where am I going?" Then answer, "I am going home." Ask, "What do I need?" Then answer, "I need some water." These small questions keep your brain active. They teach your brain how real conversations work. You become both the teacher and the student. Another helpful exercise is to imagine conversations before they happen. Suppose you are going to a shop. Before you leave your house, practice inside your brain. Think, hello? I would like some bread. Thank you. Have a nice day. These are simple sentences, but they prepare your brain for real life. When you arrive at the shop, your brain already knows what to say. You feel calmer. You feel more confident. I use this method many times before talking to people in English. It helped me speak more smoothly because my brain had already practiced the conversation. You can also use your imagination to make small stories. This is a fun way to practice. Look at a picture or look outside your window. Then create a simple story in your brain. You might think, a little boy is walking home. He's carrying a school bag. He looks happy because he had a good day. These stories do not need to be perfect. They only need to keep your brain using English. The more stories you create, the easier it becomes to think without translating. Another powerful habit is repeating simple English sentences after you hear them. When you watch an easy English video, listen carefully. If you hear someone say, I am very happy today, repeat the same sentence inside your brain. If you hear, let's go to the park, repeat it again. Do not worry about speaking out loud. Simply repeat it in your mind. This teaches your brain the rhythm of English. It also helps you remember useful sentences that you can use later. I practice this every day with short English videos. At first, it was slow, but after some time, I noticed that many sentences came into my mind automatically. That is because my brain had heard them many times before. Another important thing is to connect English with pictures instead of translation. When you think of the word apple, do not think of the word in your own language. Instead, picture a bright red apple in your mind. When you think of the word house, imagine your own house. Pictures help your brain remember English naturally. Children learn this way. They see an object and they learn its name. You can train your brain the same way. Soon, English words will bring pictures into your mind instead of translations. That is a big step toward fluency. Remember that your brain learns through repetition. Think about a small path in a field. If you walk on it only once, the path is difficult to see. But if you walk on it every day, the path becomes clear. Thinking in English is exactly the same. Every English sentence you think creates a small path inside your brain. Every day you practice, that path becomes stronger. After many days, your brain chooses that path automatically because it is the easiest one to follow. That is why daily practice is so important. You do not need long study sessions. You simply need regular practice. Even 10 minutes every day can create amazing results. So, from today, keep naming things around you. Keep asking yourself simple questions. Keep making small stories. Keep imagining conversations. Keep repeating easy English sentences. Keep connecting words with pictures. These small habits may seem simple, but together, they can completely change the way your brain works. One day, you will notice that English is no longer something you translate. It is simply something you think. And when that day comes, speaking English will feel much easier than ever before. In the next chapter, we will bring everything together and learn the daily habits that help your brain speak English naturally every single day. These habits are easy to follow, and they can help you continue improving long after you finish this lesson. Chapter 5. In the last chapter, we learned how to train our brain to think automatically in English. We learned that every small English thought makes our brain stronger. We learned that naming things, making small stories, asking simple questions, and repeating easy English sentences can help English become natural. Now we have reached our final chapter. Today, we are going to learn how to make these ideas a part of your everyday life. Many people learn English for a few days, and then they stop. They feel excited at the beginning, but after some time, they lose motivation. I do not want that to happen to you. I want English to become a small and happy part of your daily life. When English becomes a habit, you no longer have to force yourself to practice. Your brain begins to use English naturally. That is the real goal. Let me tell you something that helped me more than anything else. I stopped waiting for the perfect time to study English. Before, I always said, "Tomorrow I will study for 1 hour." Sometimes tomorrow never came. I was busy, I was tired, I found many excuses. Then I changed my thinking. Instead of waiting for 1 free hour, I started using small moments during the day. When I woke up, I talked in my brain for 1 minute. While making breakfast, I described my food in English. While walking outside, I named the things I saw. Before sleeping, I remembered my day in English. These small moments did not feel difficult, but together they changed my English completely. I realized that learning English is not about finding more time. It is about using the time you already have. I want you to do the same. When you wake up tomorrow morning, do not pick up your phone immediately. Instead, close your eyes for a few seconds and think, "Good morning. Today will be a good day. I am ready to learn English." Then, get out of bed and continue your brain talking. Think, "I am opening the window. The air feels fresh. The sun is shining." These simple thoughts wake up your English brain before your day even begins. During the day, continue using English whenever you can. If you are making tea, think, "The water is hot." If you are washing dishes, think, "The plate is clean." If you are waiting for a bus, think, "The bus is late." If you are sitting in your room, think, "It is quiet here." These small sentences may look very easy, but they are building something very powerful. They are teaching your brain to live in English instead of only studying English. Another wonderful habit is to talk about your feelings. Many learners only think about objects. They think, "This is a chair. This is a book. That is good. but you can also think about yourself. When you are happy, think, I feel happy today. When you are tired, think, I am tired, but I will keep going. When you are excited, think, I am excited to learn something new. These simple thoughts connect English with your real life. They make English more personal. And when English becomes personal, your brain remembers it much better. One habit that helped me a lot was reviewing my day before sleeping. Every night, I spent a few minutes talking in my brain. I thought, today I worked hard. I learned new words. I drank tea with my friend. I watched an English lesson. Tomorrow I will practice again. These were not long sentences. They were simple. But every night my brain became a little stronger. Every morning English felt a little easier. You can build the same habit. It only takes a few minutes, but it gives your brain another chance to think in English. Do not forget to use your imagination. Imagine your future. Imagine yourself speaking English with confidence. Imagine yourself talking to a new friend. Imagine yourself traveling to another country and speaking English without fear. Then say in your brain, I can do this. I am improving every day. My English is getting better. Positive thoughts are important because your brain listens to what you tell it. If you always think, my English is bad, your confidence becomes weak. But if you think, I am learning every day, your confidence grows stronger. Always encourage yourself. Be your own best teacher. Remember that fluency does not happen in one day. It grows little by little. Think about a small plant. On the first day, you cannot see much. But if you give it water every day, after some time it becomes bigger. Then it becomes stronger. Finally, it becomes a beautiful tree. Your English grows in exactly the same way. Every English sentence you think is like giving water to that tree. Every day you practice, your English grows a little more. Some days you will notice big progress. Some days you will not notice anything. That is normal. Keep watering your English every day, and one day you will be surprised by how much you have improved. Never stop because progress feels slow. Small progress every day becomes amazing progress after many months. I also want you to remember that you do not need perfect English to communicate. You only need clear English. Simple English is powerful. If your sentences are short and easy, people will understand you. As your confidence grows, your English will also grow. So never be ashamed of using easy words. They are helping you become fluent. Every fluent speaker started with simple sentences. You are following the same path. Before we finish this lesson, I want you to make one promise to yourself. Promise that you will talk in your brain every single day. Even if it is only for 5 minutes. Promise that you will stop translating every sentence. Promise that you will not be afraid of making mistakes. Promise that you will enjoy learning instead of worrying about being perfect. If you keep these promises, your brain will slowly change. One morning you will wake up, and English thoughts will come naturally. You will not have to force them. You will simply think in English. That is the moment you have been working toward. Remember, you do not become fluent because you memorize thousands of words. You become fluent because your brain learns to live in English every day. So keep practicing. Keep believing in yourself. Keep making small English thoughts wherever you go. Every sentence is one more step. Every day is one more opportunity. Your English journey has already begun, and your brain is becoming stronger with every English thought you create. I believe in you, and I know that if you continue practicing every day, you will speak English with confidence. Your journey starts today, and your future English begins inside your brain.